Hello everybody, Ministrum here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Dawntrail. In the last episode, we headed into Yawata, the dungeon in the patch, and worked our way through the research facility and found out about the disturbing soul experiments that they were conducting there, ultimately culminating in the idea of taking a person's soul and transferring it into the body of a beast, and with the ultimate goal of putting one into a Tyrol Vidral. At the end of the dungeon, we ran into the Tyrol Vidral that was imprisoned there, a giant evil bunny that we fought and killed. And we got a little echo flashback where we saw what was her name? I'm blanking. Well, the female Mamulja that is most likely Gululja's mother. I'm completely blanking on the name, even though I literally just recorded that episode. So, whatever, it happens. So, we need to bring the data that we found at that facility back to Shale, begin analysis. So, that is what we're going to do. Alright, but let's go around the room first. LSA, from what I can see, things haven't changed much since the funeral. People are still listless like before. Trial. I've been thinking, it may behoove us to learn how to use the various devices found throughout Alexandria. Better late than never, after all. Angrahatia. The data would be in good hands with Shale. Guluja. It was Shale who gave me the storage device before we left. She said that we'd probably need it, and we did. Muklamat. Guluja had no trouble keeping up during the outing. He really is his father's son. Alphino. Having now spent some time in these harsh environs, I feel I have a better understanding of how much of a steadying presence Sphene was to her people. And Geode. You found information on Guluja's mother? You'll never cease to amaze. Alright, turn it in. Welcome back. Guluja has already given me the storage device. There looks to be a wealth of data, all of which is encrypted, so I'll need time to process everything. In that case, LSA and I might take ourselves around the city and check on the people. Aye, their mood has us a bit worried. I don't know if there's anything we can do to help, but we'll see. Understood. I'll let you know as soon as I finish my work. Thank you. We'll see you again soon. Alright. Jude. Alice isn't wrong. The mood out there is still grim. Some of the Tyrali remember a time before they were dependent on the soul system, but even they're unsettled and wondering aloud if they'll have the chance to reunite with old friends and family before they pass on. And with good reason, too. The journey home won't be an easy one for those who've grown old. That's why it's mostly been younger folk who have been leaving for Tyrol, ones with no elders to care for. Word of that problem has reached us in Tuliolol. My brother is doing all he can to see the Jacques Tyrol Railroad restored to operation, so that people may come and go more freely. Unfortunately, the tracks only go as far as Vanguard, so some traveling by foot will still be necessary. Even so, the railroad would make things a sight easier. How long before it's back in service? I couldn't say. When I left for this visit, Kona seemed reluctant to make promises. But while Shale's working on the data, we should go and see the state of it for ourselves. To Shaloni Station, then. I'll make sure to keep Kona informed. It'll just be a matter of spurring off some track and putting in a new station just outside of Vanguard, at the very least. Ultimately, I have to find a way to get the train through Vanguard. Alright, let's go check up on the train, people. Bolika. Valve Resolve and Ayami Yatsurugi to boot. What can I do you for? We're hoping for some good news about the railroad. There's an increasing number of people looking to return to Tyrol that can't make the journey on foot. I see. As it happens, the Val of Reason is also on his way here to take stock of the situation. Ah, scratch the on his way. Oh my goodness. Aaronville. Are you planning on taking back your original name, Eleneshpia? Did our little bun finally outgrow his own clothes? I must push that button. Stop that. As you all know, my previous attire was that of a gleaner, and I have chosen a different path. It was time for a change. You're here about the railroad, too? Still carrying the giant pack, I see, though. It was in part for my sake that the original Dawnblazer was sacrificed, so I felt it only right that I assist with its replacement. Speaking of which, I assume Lemaitre has explained the growing urgency of the need. What have you to report? The new locomotive was on track for completion, but we're having difficulty pulling her into the station, in a manner of speaking. You see, when we used Dawnblazer to get into the dome, urgency outweighed all other considerations, but now we're back to our original problem: how to run the railroad without upsetting the inhabitants of Mewahetosan. That is the Ronik. Though the Hetsaro that follow them are none too pleased about their Hetzo being spooked by the noise of the locomotive either. The solution I've devised to quieten the railroad should address that complaint. But a silent train presents a different danger. The Ronik will need to be deterred from wandering across the tracks. And I suppose we can't just blow the whistle at them, or they'll panic and be put off their grazing again. Aren't the rail routes plotted to avoid the Ronik's preferred grazing areas, though? It's odd that they're getting so close in the first place. The Ronik's grazing patterns have shifted since the transfer lane. I'm not certain why, but I intend to ask the people of Mewahetosan, close enough, for their insights. As a major proponent of the railroad, I have a duty to assist in this matter, and I too would hear what the Hetsaro have to say about it. They are the ones most affected, after all. I believe it would be best to begin by consulting your leader, Huato. The rest of you can accompany us to the Hetsaro encampment if you like. I guess we're going. I mean, I could have just teleported. Oh well, I mean, it's just right there, so... Alright, Aaronville. Our prior visit to the Hetsaro was also on railroad business. Pray they do not take us for train enthusiasts. Wuklamot. To think all this can be packed up at a moment's notice to follow wherever the Ronik lead. Well, no. As committed to the Hetsaro are committed as the Hetsaro are to tradition, they are amenable to the unfamiliar, or so I am told. Alright, let's have a chat. Val Resolve, Val Reason, I bid you welcome to our camp, but what brings you all the way to this place? Thanks for seeing us. Our visit concerns a matter of the Choctaw Railroad. You two have noted the Ronik's unexpected change in behavior then. My son, Geppetto, has been looking into the matter. Geppetto? Normally, we'd expect the Ronik to keep to their favorite grounds nearby for a while yet, and despite a thorough search, we haven't found anything wrong with the quantity or quality of the grazing in Perionen and Yoatane. Close enough. Yeah, they refuse to keep where they usually would, instead pushing westward toward your railroad. I certainly see no cause for this unseasonal migration. Nevertheless, should they continue to move west, we will follow. As any true Hetsara would, I suppose. As you may have surmised, I am of Hetsara descent. My parents traveled with the Ronik as well, though I myself have no memory of the experience. I was left behind as a babe, you see, during such a migration, one of many sacrifices necessitated by a nomadic lifestyle, I am forced to assume. Yes, we remember the conversation we had with him. A chance encounter with a kind fellow merchant was the only reason I survived. Taking pity on me, he taught me his trade that I might fend for myself. I became a stallkeeper in Tulilol's markets, and that is where the Dawn Servant found and adopted me. I had already been in the palace some time when Lamati came to join us. Now, like me, she had been cast aside by her parents. I knew the pain of solitude and wanted to spare her that suffering. As this tiny child's new brother, I swore I would always be there for her. Truly, I have never heard of the Ronik choosing a path so arduous as to force a terrible decision, nor of any Hetsara willingly leaving their own flesh and blood behind. There must have been some exceptional circumstance. I cannot say. The idea of following in their footsteps that I might better make excuses for their actions never much appealed to me. Even if it might help you better understand the Ronik's current behavior? Appeal to logic. As is so often the case, you are correct. Now, my discomfort with the Hetsara way may arise from a fear of reopening old wounds rather than blind fervor for innovation. It would nevertheless see me repeat past mistakes, and to refuse to learn of one's country's treasured traditions would make me a poor Dawn servant indeed. Please, teach me the Ronik and what they mean to you. I promise to listen with an open mind. We would be delighted. In the meantime, your companions are welcome to look around. Will you learn of Hetsara culture with me? I should like to approach this with the fervent curiosity that you and my sister share. It would be useful to know whether I am doing it correctly. Then it's settled. You'll learn more of the Ronik, and we'll have a look around the plains. Perhaps in the process we'll find the answers we seek. Alright. Mona? My knowledge of the culture I was born into is from written accounts alone, and few of them at that. Alright, Geppetto. The quickest way to learn about our way of life is to do as we do. I hope you're not above manual labor. I'm not the most experienced, I am ashamed to admit, but I shall put forth every effort. That's all we ask. Take these tools. Now, introduce yourself to anyone who looks busy and ask if you can help. They'll be happy to teach you what to do in exchange for another pair of hands to do it. Let's meet back here later and share what we've learned. Alright, let's start, asking around. Ruffled Ronik. As you stroke the Ronik's coat, you notice that many portions are shaggy and tangled. This one's fur is a bit overgrown, but a good brushing should thin it out. Would you like to give it a try? You'll need the right tool for the job, mind you. A comb of the type you're used to would just get lost in a tangle like as not. Alright, we have a brush. Ah, Shepetto sent a Ronic brush with you, did he? I like him. No, just run it through one little patch at a time, gently. You dutifully brush the Ronic until your arms grow weary from the prolonged battle with its coat. It appears much tidier now, though the same cannot be said of your clothes, which have acquired a new coat of their own. Well done. With less excess fur, our friend here will be more comfortable in the afternoon heat and less susceptible to illness. A combed coat also makes it easier for us to identify injuries, should the need arise. Let's go to the talkative Hetzaro. I'm afraid I finished with my task for the time being, but since you're so eager to learn about our way of life, why don't I tell you a bit about our migration customs. If you're here, you'll likely already know that the Ronic are our Hetzo, our guides, that we travel with through the turning of the seasons. We trust them to lead us to fertile lands with all we need to survive. But you may not know that sometimes the herd splits in two, bound for different paths. On those occasions, we Hetzaro must also part with half our number. You may think it a strange and stressful custom, but over the years it has seen us visit new lands and broaden our horizons as a people. This too is the wisdom of the Hetzo. Alright, we have a troubled Hetzaro. This won't do. The wind will go right through it, and me without my needle and sinew. Apparently we have a mending kit. Oh, these are precisely what I needed. I should be able to patch up the covering now. Given how often we pack up and reassemble our tents, they're bound to get the occasional tear. Fortunately, the Ronic hide they're made of is durable enough that we generally needn't worry. And we have a playful Hetzaro. Learning about the Hetzaro way of life, are you? I may have a thing or two to share, but rather than talking your ear off, let me test your powers of deduction. I find answers much easier to recall later if I arrived at them myself. Our Hetzo provide us with something that we use in medicines, poultices, and soap, to drive away pests and to sustain our fires. What is it? Meat and organ meat? Bones, hooves? Are hooves bones? With horns and hooves of cores of bone, and we use all these materials, albeit primarily in tent poles, instruments, and like. It's not quite the answer I was looking for. Meant for medicines, poultices, and soap. Drive away pests and other evils. Sustain fires. Basically, I would say fat. Lard. That you can convert into soap. And fuel. So I would not say dung. We'll go with meat and organ meat. Close enough? It is dung, really? Meat and organs are both made delicious fare, and our neighbors are all glad to trade for them. They do have certain medicinal uses as well, but they aren't fit for the purposes mentioned in my question. Alright then. It sounds like there's a story there, but that's indeed the correct answer. We've discovered myriad uses for Ronic chips over time, each a boon to our way of life. Where there is need, our Hetzo always provide. Alright, Shepetto. You smell the grass in the wind, which is a good thing, I promise. You could nearly be mistaken for one of us, and with the horns of a Ronik to boot. I had to wonder how Valkona is getting on. I assumed he would be reluctant to get his hands dirty, but it seems his wish to understand us was sincere. Ah, there he is now. Apologies for my tardiness. I was tasked with grazing the Ronik and ended up rather far afield. I found myself wandering hither and thither at my companion's inclination. To force us back to the trail seemed inappropriate. But how was your own work? Have you anything to share? I'll say Hetsar life revolves around the Ronik, but in turn the people receive all they need. Yes, I feel the truth of this myself. While I was hesitant to leave my fate to the whims of the Hetzo rather than tread man-made paths, I arrived where I was meant to be all the same. Mine is not the only way, though at times I lack the experience to know otherwise. My inability to conceive of how a decision might be right does not mean that it is wrong. My parents had a duty to the Ronik, as they did to me, and so I wonder if their leaving me behind was not so selfish an act as I once believed. I have no way to know, of course, and regardless, this has no bearing on our present concerns. We are here in service of the people of Toral, after all. Nevertheless, I thank you for helping me find deeper meaning in what we've done today. And I will endeavor to remain curious, especially where the Hetzo are concerned. I'm glad to hear that, Valkona. You're welcome among our herd anytime. Alright, I guess I'll take the fruit and aloe jelly. Alright, Kona. Kona, how did it go? If I understand the significance of the Hetzo. They nourish the Hetzaro as they grow and provide warmth and companionship in a harsh and unpredictable world. They are the equal of any man, not beasts to be tamed. Moreover, Ronig are sensitive. Though we treat their injuries or brush their coats to keep them hale, they must ever be free to follow their instincts and seek lands where they might thrive. Hetzar would never cage them, and neither should we. To control their migratory patterns or capture those who wander too close to the tracks is out of the question. And it is particularly important to advance our original line of inquiry. Fortunately, we were able to visit the Ronik's once favored grazing grounds. As we were told, the grass looks fine, but the place is too quiet. It's not just the Ronik. Even the birds and field mice have fled. We did encounter one pack of Ceratoraptors, but they look to be passing through in a hurry. Typically, that sort of behavior in the fauna would be associated with natural disasters, earthquakes, landslides, and the like. Though the Hatsara would have surely put two and two together were the cause geological. I measured the area's ether to be certain. There was indeed nothing to suggest recent environmental disruption, but did notice one anomaly. A strong etheric signature to the east, moving across the plain, albeit slowly. A large animal, perhaps? A Vidral? And a powerful one, like as not. A predator, given local fauna's behavior. One of the raptors we saw looked like it had a bite taken out of its tail by something with very large fangs. Could it be a Churuhetsu? Churuhetsu? A Ronik Reaver in the common tongue. Our people have several names for such a creature. Fangs that steal Hetso in the night is another evocative one. Ronik can fend off many predators with their horns, but not the Churuhetsu. Their scales are as tough as adamant, and neither horn nor arrow can pierce them. A well-toothed carnivore with an unusually tough hide. I cannot recall any such fauna in this region. They usually roam in the wilds to the northeast, and most herds keep well clear of them. I can't tell you why this one is so far from its home and its pack both. In any case, I believe the source of the Ronik's consternation is clear. As our next move, we must drive this Reaver away, that they might return to their grazing lands in peace. Never fear. I'll make certain that the beast threatens you no more. Alright, looks like we have a solo instance to do. Alright, the Ronik Reaver is a clear threat to the local population. We cannot allow it to roam unchecked, but it won't do for us to go running off in search of it without having made proper preparations. And if others returning from across the plain have spotted it, then they may be able to inform us of its recent behavior and where it might be found. Your progress to the upcoming battle will be saved at certain points. Alright. Final level 730. Hold on just a moment. Well, I mean, I should be able to do it. Alright, let's go.
Hetsu is coming this way! It has beasts across the plains in a panic, and our Ronek are practically paralyzed with fear. We must get them to safety!
We can assist by helping to calm the creatures. Once they're less agitated, it should be possible to hurt them.
And after they're out of harm's way, we'll deal with the Ronek Reaver.
I suggest you remain here to attend to the Ronek when they arrive.
They'll be safe with me. Please, be careful out there.
Make haste! We must protect the Ronek!
Don't worry, we're right behind you.
Alright, I'll follow Kona.
There they are!
They're terrified. We must do what we can to soothe them.
Next.
That herd should be all right. Let's look for stragglers. The Ronek are Turali too. None shall be left behind. There must be something up ahead. Come!
Oh, so we got a problem up ahead.
There!
Yeah,
no match
see
for
us.
the likes of us.
In a panic was clearly an understatement. More are coming!
Oh, I gotta stand in the way.
You're mine.
All or nothing then.
Looks like Kona's taking care of it. Nice. Take care of the big boy.
It seems that did the trick.
For the fodder, at least. But where's...
Yep. Where's our primary target?
Look there! We've got a big one coming!
Impenetrable scales and wicked fangs. That's a Ronek Reaver, and no mistake.
Theropod. And a big one.
There! That one there! Not so fast!
A big hit.
Even should it cost me my life. I will save If they had so!
Kona! Are you alright?
Do not concern yourself with me. Get the Ronek to safety!
There. You've nothing to fear.
Right! Let's finish the job!
I made a vow to our people. You shall plague them no longer!
All right, let's get the party started.
You'll find the vow of reason is not without resolve.
Damn it! Not even a scratch!
Buy me some time to think, will you? It must have a weakness, and I will find it. Keep it busy. I need time.
Right! Go for the legs!
Scale armored leg, okay. I was gonna go first.
Now we just have to keep it pinned.
Get thinking, Kona!
A protective current of ether. But whence does it flow? I've got it!
Now just tell me where to blast it.
One well-placed piercing round to the chest, and...
Nice gun.
You're done for!
Alright.
Stem the flow of protective ether.
Unload.
There's nothing stopping us now. Still not backing down, huh? Fine with me.
Below half health. Let's keep restoring my MP. Oh, now what?
We must disperse that ether ere the Reaver recovers it.
All right.
This is going to hurt.
More of it. All right, it's down.
We did it. The Etso, are they?
The Ronek have all made it to Mehwa Hetsuan. Hunters are scouring the area for any remaining threats. But the...
Oops. Misclick.
We cannot thank you enough for your timely aid. You, most of all, Bow of Reason. We feared you would be loath to take direct action, yet you didn't hesitate to put your life on the line for our Hetso.
I did no more than is a Dawn servant's duty. The ethereal conductivity of those scales is astounding. I dare say we could repurpose them to create a device that emits controlled pulses of ether.
Ether resembling that of the predator the Ronek fear most. It might work. If we struck the right balance, we would have the means to deter the Ronek from approaching the railroad without causing them undue distress.
Incredible! Kona, you've done it again.
I must say, I was hoping I'd never have to see one of these again. Still haven't forgotten the last one, and it's been more than 20 years now. I had come as a trader to the camp in Lozeni Hetta, a camp that was obliterated in an instant by that monster.
Lozeni Hetta. That's where the Pelu Pelu trader found me as a babe. Please, can you tell me what you saw?
As I said, I had traveled there to trade with our fellow Hetzaro. Like us, they followed the Ronak. And like us, they were visited by a Reaver. The fiend struck like a whirlwind in the night. It was chaos. I grabbed some token belongings and bolted in a panic, thinking only of getting as far away as possible. But even in my panicked state, I could not help but notice the young couple racing the other way, toward the fell creature. "We're distracted," I heard one cry. "Save our son! Save the Hetzo!" After that, nothing but the pounding of my heart and feet and Rodak thunder. I ran and ran, and as the sun broke the horizon, I found myself separated from both man and beast. Windborne words say that a group of survivors reunited with their remaining Ronak and have long since moved on. But still more were never seen again, including the brave couple. Or so the story goes.
And what became of their child?
I'm afraid I don't know. But if he wasn't with the survivors, even if he lived through that night, the wilderness wouldn't have been kind to a little one out on his lonesome.
Maybe not. But perhaps a passing Pelu would. And one day, even a Dawn servant himself. All these years, I was convinced that my parents had left me behind to follow after the Ronek. But now I see, they didn't abandon me. They were trying to keep me safe. I've wasted so much time resenting them, when in truth, they gave me everything I have today. It is thanks to them that I live to know the warmth of family, even after they were gone. And now that I am Dawn's servant, all of Tuliyola is my family. A family I will always protect.
Oops. Again, a misclick. Sorry. Alright. I was getting some closure on that anyway. It's good. Alright. Aaronville. We certainly got more than we bargained for when we set out to solve our railroad conundrum. And Wuklamat, you can imagine how Kona must be feeling right now. That Reaver, you don't suppose it was the same one that... I mean, it's unlikely. To know that the Hetzo are safe is more than enough, yet it would be wrong to hope that, in protecting them, we also avenged my parents. It is the least I owe to them after all this time. May I thank you for standing by me as Dawn's servant and as the oft imperfect man beneath that mantle. Now, let us return our attentions to the matter we came here to address, shall we? We remove the root cause of the Ronik straying from their favored grazing and obtain the tools to devise an additional precautionary measure, a silent whistle, as it were. This whistle must be capable of emitting pulsive ether strong enough they will shy away from the tracks on instinct, yet not so strong as to drive them into a panic. If we can achieve this, it will be far sight better than the traditional whistle, more effective and less stressful for the creatures themselves. Let's return to Shaloni Station and begin work on it then. Walika and his crew will doubtless be relieved to finally have a solution. Alright then. Head back over to the station. And I'll just fly. Because it's literally just right there. Interesting little diversion. And a little bit more about Kona. Alright, Wuglamot. This train will be ready in no time. Kona? I always carry a spare of spectacles or two. It can be difficult to find replacements outside of the city. You couldn't believe how many I went through during the Rite of Succession. Heronville. A variety of artisans from across Tyrol have come to assist with the railroad, so I foresee no difficulty in creating the whistle that Kona proposed. Alright, well, Lika. Look pleased about something. Good news for the railroad, I take it. So the Ronick were avoiding a predator. Smart ones they are. And Valkona's not too bad himself. What with his whistle idea. Sit tight, we'll have his train on the tracks and before you know it. Sit tight? Yes, we shall sit tight. And get our new train up and running.
We're ready to go.
Whoa! She looks as good as new.
If I had time to do a proper job, could have really made her shine. Had to cobble together the exterior with spare parts. We refurbished the interior, though. Not that you can appreciate it from out here. But as far as the Ronick are concerned, we've spared no effort. From the ballast to the ties, we've adjusted every bit of the track so she'll run quiet as a field mouse.
You and your crew have worked wonders. Our nation is in your debt.
Come now. If anything, credit's due to Tuliolal. It's thanks to the folk you recruited from every corner of the continent that we were able to get her up and running so quickly. Besides, the ethereal whistle's the true marvel, and we wouldn't have that without the scales you brought us. However grateful you are, know that we're even more thankful.
Right. If we're done talking, let's put this train through her paces.
Finally get that proper train ride. We're just gonna take her out for a test drive.
There's a Ronick up ahead.
Now, to test our whistle.
On it. Just point it in the general direction and...
It's moving away. Meanwhile, our friends over there appear wholly unperturbed.
With this, we can alert those who wander too close without disturbing the rest of the herd.
A roaring success! In a quiet way, like. Then with your permission, Vow of Reason, the Shaktaral Railroad is back in service.
Alright. We need some passenger cars. But we didn't blow those up. We blew up some fuel tanks. Alright, Wuklamot. Now, anyone will be able to come and go from the dome as they please. I can't wait to spread the word in Alexandria. Anvil. I expect that with the Reaver gone, the Ronig will gradually return to their old habits, and we won't see so many approaching the tracks. It's good to see that the whistle will be effective in the meantime, however. Equal up. With that, I believe our work here is done. The fine people of Shaktaral railing can take it from here. Olika. The folks that Valkona brought in to help to rebuild the railroad have already returned home, but I hope we can give them a ride someday. Right. For a while there, we were real worried that we'd never get the railroad running again. But now the test drive was a success, we can breathe easy and start hauling people to and fro from the dome. First Shaloni, and then the continent. Watch out, Shaktaral, here we come. Alright, I share the sentiment, but we've got a mountain of work ahead of us to ensure smooth operations. Time to get back to it. The efforts of all here today shall not go unnoticed. Once more, I thank you. Right. As for our own work, I trust you can handle matters in Alexandria, Lamachi. Alright. Well, let's pick up the next quests. Wuklamot. Crossroads. Well, it's possible that Shale's made some headway by now, and regardless, we should spread word that the railroad's been restored to service. Shale, what do you have her working on? Gulujaw's mother. I'd feel the same in his shoes. Have felt the same. Some questions are painful to leave unanswered. There's no cause to look at me like that. The Kafkiwa we met may have only been a simulacrum, but her memory was real. Oh, and I see you got a little chain there. I needn't search for what she left behind because she left it with me, and I will carry it always. Speaking of things you're carrying, is that a teeny tiny Kafkiwa? What? No. It's merely a token from Alexandria. Our friends in Oblivion would not take no for an answer, and I thought it as good a souvenir as any. Whatever you say, for what it's worth, I think it's a nice way to bring her with you on your travels. Yes, well, you're off to the dome now, aren't you? I thought I might join you for a time. Cedar is all I can do for the people there. Much changed though it is, I still consider it my home. Of course, we can give you the full story on the way. We're not taking the train? Oh, I guess I can go ahead and just teleport myself. But we'll go ahead and end the episode there, and then we'll pick up in the back room when we start next episode. Alright, so for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.